Hi, and welcome back to the garden. My name is Vui. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about how to feel your feelings. I mentioned it last week as I was sharing about the resources and tools that have helped to support me along my journey of awakening, of remembering, of spirituality, and just coming back home to myself. And one key one really, really important one that I would say is at the foundation of being human, of the foundation of being real and authentic with yourself, and thus authentic with the world, is to feel your feelings, to have the words, so the vocabulary to describe your feelings, and to also have the courage and the depth to actually get into them and feel them through. I'll start by sharing that I have only been able to really sense for my feelings, understanding what they are, the difference between my emotions and feelings in the last couple of years. So this specific part of emotional health, or even spiritual mental health, has been quite late in the game because it's quite a vital resource and understanding to have. So I only have to think about children, to think about individuals who are able to express their feelings and emotions. And ask a child, "What's wrong? Like, what's the matter? How are you feeling?" They're like, "I'm angry." And as adults, and especially as women, we don't even let ourselves feel the emotion of anger. And it is so important that we do, because if we don't, we stay inside of it. That anger stays inside our body and then develops into other things, which is why diseases that affect the wound area are on the rise, things like fibroids. This also then leads me to why it's so important that we express ourselves, right? And I know that it's a very nerve-wracking thing. It might evoke a lot of fear in some people, and even anxiety, really, really intense anxiety when it comes to feeling a specific feeling and actually confronting specific emotions within ourselves. Many of us just have never done it. Many of us don't know how, or many of us are afraid of who we become when we express certain emotions. But I will tell you that it's possible to get to a place where you're you're able to swim in the motion of your emotions, because that's the thing. We're supposed to get our emotions moving so that they don't stay in the body. How then do you begin to feel your emotions? Where does one start? I think the first and most important thing is to have a willingness to be alone with yourself. A lot of us distract ourselves with people, with things, with food, with series, and we're just constantly consuming something. And we might feel that we have to be around people all the time. But to be able to begin to really sense for who you are, what you're feeling at any given time, you have to be able to face yourself. on your own, by yourself. Even if it just means simply initially being able to just sit with yourself and just witness what comes up. For some, the mind might be racing. For some, you might observe all kinds of self-talk, so your thoughts and your dialogue. But what we're doing is we're developing the courage and the practice of being able to be on our own, because if we cannot do that, then we cannot begin to actually confront the things that live within ourselves, that live within our bodies. Before I continue, the difference between our feelings and our emotions. Emotions are physical states that arise as a response to external stimuli. They are often aroused before feelings and are physical in nature, so we can observe them through physical reactions. And then we have feelings. Feelings are mental associations and reactions to our emotions. They usually arise in the mind and they are caused by our emotions. The thing with feelings is that they can be hidden, which is why we can often be with people, amongst people, and have no idea that maybe someone was depressed or that someone was going through a hard or difficult or challenging emotional time, because we can hide what we're feeling. I often find that I'm able to understand my feelings better by being truly honest with where I am at any given time and giving words to those feelings that I am feeling, to those that are around me, and without overthinking that maybe it'll make them uncomfortable or whatever the case may be. And I'll give you an example. Today, I'm feeling particularly tender and emotional and a little bit energetically drained. And that's because I am on my monthly menstruation cycle. Now, it would be foolish of us to not be able to speak of these things in public on platforms like this. Billions of women experience their cycle every month, and we come from a woman, so it should be okay for us to have a deeper understanding of these things and how they function. It also then allows me to be more honest with my feelings, to be more honest with where I am, and then to go out and search for the words that can help me to try and define what it is that I'm processing. There are base feelings, core feelings that we can express. So if someone asks you how you're feeling, you could say, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling fearful, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling disappointed. And within each of those that I've named, let's say sadness, there are other words, perhaps 7 words further to that are able to help you to express and define and feel for what it is that you're really feeling. Isn't that amazing? And so when we expand our vocabulary, we are literally then able to go into our body systems and say, okay, this is what I'm feeling. And if I'm feeling this way, I can go for a walk, or I'm going to take a shower, or I'm going to drink some water, I'm going to go lie down on the grass, or I'm going to call someone who is able to help support me move my feelings or understand them or unpack them, or someone who can just simply listen. I mentioned that the first and most important one is to be able to be with yourself, to actually be on your own. That's the first and biggest step. And once you get used to that, it's to have the patience and to be brave enough to, when you're feeling whatever it is you're feeling, to you don't have to tell yourself to calm down. You don't have to tell yourself to rush through it. You don't have to I forgive myself, or whatever it might be prematurely. It's just to be honest and sincere and to show up for yourself in that moment and be like, okay, what's going on in my body? What's going on in my mind? I'm so angry. So angry. I'm so angry I could punch a pillow. I'm so angry I could punch a pillow, and then you punch the pillow. Do whatever it is that you need to do to support yourself in that moment. But the first step and the most important thing that we're trying to learn here is to listen to yourself, to be able to believe yourself, to hear yourself, to admit to yourself. We grow up in homes and we're in relationships, we have relationships where we can't even be honest and true with how we really feel. And so when we're able to at least be that for ourselves, to say, yo, this is how I'm feeling. I don't like how I'm feeling. Whatever comes up, but to give yourself room for that is you then allowing yourself more and more to show up for yourself, to hold space for yourself, to be accountable to yourself, to be honest with yourself, to soothe yourself, to reparent yourself, or whatever word works in that time, to resolve this habit of forsaking ourselves and overriding our true feelings, of shutting down our emotions and deciding it stops now. From now on, I'm going to show up for myself. I'm going to be honest with myself, and I'm going to try and figure out what I'm feeling. And even if I don't have the words for it, I'm going to give myself the patience and grace to be like, I'm not feeling all together. So I'm just going to sit here and sense through what it is that I need. Yeah? It's a bit chilly here today, and so I've got my socks on. That's what I needed. And I feel so grateful to be able to have socks and warm my feet and to comfort myself when I can. I also feel really grateful that I'm at the point where I can share myself honestly in terms of my feelings and my emotions and be like, hey, I'm feeling this way because this is the space that I'm in at this current moment in my life, in this month, without feeling shame and without feeling guilt. And of course, those feelings and emotions were there initially, because we were raised to detest and to shun and to believe certain things were dirty. But when we feel the full spectrum of who we are and we embrace all the different waves that we go through within a month, then we're able to set ourselves more free. Because when you can feel the full spectrum of your humanity, the more human and alive you feel. The more you feel that you matter, the more that you feel real and alive, like this living, breathing thing, and the more that you can show up for other people more genuinely, more wholly. And that's what this world is aching for. We are a deeply lonely people, and we might be surrounded by people and stuff and music and movies and all of this constant input of stimuli, but we're just aching to be seen. We're aching to be understood. We're aching to be accepted as ourselves. We're aching to come home. And we are the first people that can begin to give those things to us. So feel your feelings. Allow what arises to arise. And, this is not to say you must go and punch someone. But the more we allow our feelings to be true with ourselves, right, the less rage we'll have, the less anxiety we'll have, the less sadness and depression we'll have, because we're allowing ourselves to go into the full experience of what our hearts are trying to communicate to us, what our bodies are trying to communicate to us, what our feelings and the ocean of our emotions also trying to express at any given time. You resuscitate yourself back to life. So feel your feelings. And if you have any techniques that you might use that give you a good understanding of how you're feeling or support you in feeling your feelings better or more, please do share it in the comments. I am grateful for your time. I am thankful that you've been here. And if you found the sharing helpful at all, please do like and subscribe to feeling our feelings and to embracing our emotions. I'll see you next week, Friday, for the debut of Sound Journeys in My Secret Garden. And yeah, just really looking forward to us all healing together and remembering who we truly are. See you next week.